Moral development. There are two tasks of childhood, and these are very crucial tasks of childhood and adolescence. They are determining right and wrong. And this is part of developing our moral character, or it could be what we call learning to control those psychological muscles, controlling natural impulses. By the end of this little lesson today, you should be able to answer these following questions. How did Kohlberg describe moral development? What is moral intuition and moral action? Lawrence Kohlberg was a professor at Harvard. He studied the field of moral development, and he's known for his theories of moral development. And that's what we'll be talking about primarily during this lesson. So Piaget believed that children's moral judgments are built upon their cognitive development. Agreeing with Piaget, Lawrence Kohlberg sought to describe the development of moral reasoning, which is the thinking that occurs as we consider right and wrong. Kohlberg proposed moral dilemmas. For example, one of his moral dilemmas that he proposed to people is, should a person steal medicine to save the life of another person? He then asked children, adolescents, and adults whether the action was right or wrong. He believed that their answers would give evidence of the stages of moral thinking. So these are the three stages of moral development that Kohlberg found in these are the theories, in his theory he proposed these three basic levels of moral thinking. We have the preconventional stage of morality, the conventional, and the postconventional stage of morality. First, we're going to talk about preconventional morality. Now, this happens this is our thinking, usually before the age of 9. So a child will do the right thing so that they'll not be punished, or so that they can get a toy or candy, often in this stage. So morality is that of self-interest. They're more worried about what will happen to me, what's in it for me. Their actions are either going to be to avoid punishment or to gain rewards. Next, we have conventional morality. This usually begins in early adolescence. During this time, we worry a lot about what other people think of us, and we're more concerned with keeping up with normal social norms of society in our particular culture, or by following societal rules. So morality is more based on obeying laws. Now, these laws are to maintain social order and to gain social approval. These are the most important things to us usually in this time period in pre-adolescence, adolescence. Next, we have the post-conventional stage of morality. This typically happens sometimes in the adolescent ages, or it happens beyond. There are some adults who never get to this stage of moral development. During this stage, people functioning at this stage are more concerned with the greater good. Their actions reflect belief in basic rights and self-defined principles. They're not concerned about what people think of them and what the consequences of their actions will do to them. Gandhi and Martin Luther King spent a lot of time in jail and were in constant danger. They didn't care. They knew that they were doing the right thing. They are not motivated by self-interest. They're motivated for the good of the greater of society. An example of this is someone that helps a friend at school, or someone that they don't even know that's being bullied, even though they could be bullied themselves, is starting to really function on this post-conventional morality. They really don't care what other people think. They don't care what the consequences of their actions. They're seeing something that they believe is wrong, and they're going to act regardless of what will happen to them. Okay, so let's go through a couple of scenarios. Martina is a young woman who lived in a war-torn region of the world. She distributes food to orphans living in the streets. This activity is actually against the law. She frequently has to deceive the authorities in order to keep these children alive. Now, what level of moral thinking is Martina functioning on by helping these orphans, although it's against the law? Martina is risking her life and defying the laws because of her concern for human life. This is a stage 3 or post-conventional morality. She's not concerned about the societal laws. She's not concerned at what's in it for her. She's functioning on a higher moral thinking. The next scenario. Scott thought about leaving school early and going to a baseball game. He stayed in school because he was afraid of getting caught. So this one is stage 1. Scott acts based on fear of punishment. He does not want to get caught, and he doesn't want to get in trouble. The next scenario. Juanita's friends were at the mall, and someone suggested they do a little shoplifting just to see if they could get away with it. Juanita wouldn't participate and said it's against the law, and what would her parents say? What level of moral thinking is Juanita functioning on? Juanita is functioning on stage 2, or we would call this conventional morality. Juanita is concerned about the law and what her parents would think. So to summarize Kohlberg's theory of moral development, according to Kohlberg, conventional morality focuses on upholding the laws and social rules. Preconventional morality focuses on self-interest. What's in it for me? Am I going to get a reward? Am I going to get punished? And postconventional morality focuses on one's self-defined ethical principles. Regardless of what anyone thinks or what could be done to them, what they believe is right. Okay, now let's talk just a little bit about moral intuition. According to psychologist Jonathan Haidt, much of our morality is rooted in moral intuitions. There are quick gut feelings. In this view, the mind makes moral judgments quickly and automatically. We feel good inside when we see people display this exceptional generosity and compassion or courage, and Haidt says that such feelings in turn trigger moral reasoning. Okay, so these are quick gut feelings. The mind makes moral judgments quickly and automatically. So moral reasoning is the thinking that occurs as we consider right and wrong. We have to engage in moral reasoning when we are faced with difficult moral dilemmas. Some Staten Island residents faced moral dilemmas in 2012 when the superstorm Sandy was causing disastrous flooding in the region. Should they risk their lives to try to rescue family, friends, and neighbors in dangerously flooded areas? The reasoning likely reflected very different levels of moral thinking, even if they did behave similarly. So today's character education programs focus on both moral reasoning and doing the right thing. They teach children empathy for others' feelings. They also teach self-discipline needed to restrain one's own impulses to delay small pleasures now in order to earn bigger rewards later. Those who have learned to delay gratification have become more socially responsible, more academically successful, and have become more productive. So we're trying to learn in these moral action education programs. We try to teach moral reasoning and doing the right thing. Try to have empathy for others. Empathy means try to put yourself in their position and try to feel what they're feeling. And then also self-discipline. You need to restrain your actions.